Yeah, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. The tank is the M4A2E4 Sherman. This is an American Tier 5, I believe it's a medium tank, and the map is Tundra. This is also on the test server. It looks like it is a 7x7 match. You'll notice that on the enemy team there's a Panzer 1C who was apparently team killed, which is too bad. You know, they shouldn't have done that. But when you're in this type of a game, it's usually pretty safe to just go across the center, which is what I plan on doing. They never should have done that team kill. It was just, you know, obviously the people who did that are poor sportsmen, and you don't want them on your team. You know, the guy didn't want to be in a Tier 5 game with a Tier 3 tank. It's just the way the matchmaker works. And they did say that they would fix the matchmaker, but
target acquired.
They're not going to do it until they have enough you know, they don't have enough higher tier light tanks, and until they do, you're still going to have these matchmaker issues. So as you can see, I went right over the bridge. I knew it would be pretty safe. There's a good chance I'll just get on their cap. Just to tick them off.
Enemy armor is damaged.
It looks like that guy's AFK.
Penetration.
It's very important to kill AFK players,
Enemy is hit.
because they will spot you in the game,
Enemy armor is hit.
and you don't want that.
Penetration.
Oh, he didn't die.
They're knocked out. Ricochet. Track hit.
Well, he must have reset the cap.
We didn't even scratch them.
Which is obviously why he didn't come back for me.
We didn't even scratch them. Ready to fire. That one didn't go through. Bail out. This vehicle is hatting.
Okay, so that's the M4A2E4. My impressions are, it seems like it's a little slow. I thought it would be a little bit faster in the game, but I guess it isn't. It looks like we've got one tank left. Let's see how we did. I would love to get into another game, but it's going to be a long wait. It's going to be perhaps a minute and a half in order to get into another game. I did get number 1 for the team. It looks like they only had 4 players that actually did anything. So let's take a quick look at this. This is what the tank looks like. I put the Captain America on there. It's got a rate of fire 4 rounds per... I'm sorry. 4 rounds per minute, I believe. No. 4-second reload. 15 rounds per minute. 4-second reload. You can check in the game. I increased it using vents. I did not use the gun rammer because I don't use the gun rammer on tanks that have relatively fast reload times. The penetration is 92. The damage is 110, which I guess is probably pretty typical for this tier of a tank. Engine power is kind of moderate. Traverse speed is pretty good. The signal range isn't that great. Now, here's my analysis in general. Because it's a premium tank, you can't compare this to a regular tank. And the reason why is because you get more credits, no research required, they're cheaper to repair, you get extra combat experience, you get extra experience for your crew, you get the free experiences, so many advantages to the premium tanks. And I'm going to show you my mediums. You can see I've got what looks like 3 medium tanks. I thought that I had more because I have the Pershing. Oh, you know what? I probably sold my Pershing. Okay, but the point that I'm making is the crew can be shared among other tanks. In this case, I've got 2 American medium tanks that are premium, so they're going to level up faster. And for all the reasons that I say, I would much rather play with a premium tank than a non-premium tank. It's definitely worth it. If you see it for sale and you think it's a reasonable price and you need tanks to play, I would say definitely buy it. Going through the tech tree, I will tell you I own almost every premium tank except for this STA2 I do not own. And I don't own these Chinese tanks, but I probably own every other premium tank that's currently for sale. Well, I don't have these 2 here, but you can see I own a lot of these other tanks. Especially when, this one I don't own, especially when they're on sale, I do go out and buy them. And I do have the ones that have been taken off, like the TOG and the Jagdpanzer. I even buy the Tier 2s, and I actually enjoy playing most of them. So the premium tanks I tend to own are usually the ones that were available for sale a year ago. Some of the newer ones I don't own, but I do own a lot of them, and I do enjoy playing them. So for that, I recommend it. Let's see how this compares to a regular Sherman. Something like, let's take a look at this M4 over here. You can see that the gun has a higher penetration on this particular tank. Although if you get the base gun, you're going to probably get the same gun. Absolutely, it's true. It's listed here as the gun on the Sherman, the M4A2E4. So you're getting the base gun. If you compare it to the regular M4, I'm guessing that the M4 is probably going to end up being better equipped. It looks like the armor is the same, the specs are the same. So compared to the M4, Tier 5 American, the Tier 5 American M4 is going to have an option for a better gun. Excuse me. Overall, I'd say that they're pretty much the same. So, if you compare it to the regular M4, M4 has an option for a higher penetrating gun. The M4A2E4, let's see if this really is a super jumbo. I'm not sure if it is or not. No, it doesn't say that it is. But anyway, the advantages are all the advantages you see here with the regular premium tanks. You get all the extra crew training, the list goes on. That's why you're going to like playing it. On the days when you have the 5 times bonus and the 3 times bonus, that's when I roll these tanks out. And I level up my tanks really high. I'm going to show you an example. My German tank destroyers, I have 4 premium tank destroyers. I've got the Stug 4, the Dickermax, the E-25, and the Jagdtiger, and they use the crew from the Jagdpanzer 4, which is now in the Kanonen Jagdpanzer. And you see over here it says 88% on the 3rd skill. It's actually up to 98% on the live server, and on the test server it's only at 88%. At the beginning of the summer they were around 40%. So I've advanced them dramatically in a short period of time. My crew has advanced dramatically, and that's one of the reasons why you want to do it, especially if the tanks are cheap. So I do recommend the tank. Just to show you again, you're going to get to use the crew on any of your medium tanks on the American line. I'm going to show you which ones they are. It's going to be the T2 medium, the M2 medium, the M3 Lee, the M4, and then the M4 branch, the T20, the Pershing, which I currently own, it's just not on the test server, the M46 patent and the M48 patent, and the T26E4 Super Pershing, plus the T69 and the T54E1, and any other medium tanks that may have been removed from the tech tree. So there's a lot of tanks that you're going to be able to share that crew with. I highly recommend it. In terms of if you had one tank to buy in that class, which would you get? I'm going to quickly go through. You've got the Matilda, the Churchill, obviously the M4, the T25, nothing here. Matilda BP, Excelsior, nothing here. And the Chinook. I would say I happen to love Russian tanks. I've always liked playing the Matilda, so I would say that the Matilda is probably my favorite out of all the Tier 5 premium tanks. I would say this would be in the top 4 or 5. Or maybe the third. Maybe the Churchill would be my second, and maybe the Sherman, the M4, would be my third in terms of Tier 5 only. Okay, so I think that is everything you need to know about this. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.